So today I enjoyed with my cat, who's just like being very sleepy in the corner here. Don't bite me. Quite a lot of things I need to say actually. So first of all, my friend Eleanor, you should go and check out her channel. It's me and my channel, and we have started a new series on there called Eleanor Tries. Now Eleanor's very fussy, so it's just hilarious because she's trying foods when what she's never tried before or she hasn't eaten in a long time because she's so fussy, and it's hilarious. So you need to go and watch that. I am going to be doing Year 7 top tips and how to survive Year 7, because Year 7 is the first year of secondary school and it's so different to primary school. You just don't know what to expect. So I've got some do's and do nots to help you survive Year 7. So first of all, some advice, because you're going to be nervous and everyone else is feeling the same way, so there's nothing to be scared about, because if you think, oh, everyone's going to be making new friends, everyone's going to know what they're doing, but everyone's the same. Everyone's scared to make friends. Everyone just doesn't know what's going to happen really, because it's different to what you're used to. It's not primary school anymore, so it's just different. So I'm going to start with some what to do's. So first of all, it's always have an aim. So that would be maybe to get no detentions. That's definitely a good one. Maybe always do your homework. And these are things I would definitely recommend to do. And it's your decision. If you don't want to do your homework, then you know it's going to have a bad impact, because you're going to get told off. You're going to struggle to have a good school life if you choose the wrong decisions. So always make sure you have aims and don't always stick to those aims. You've got to do your homework. You've got to have no detentions. You've got to always have 100% attendance. Apart from, I kind of disagree with that, because if you're ill, it's not your fault. But don't have days off if you're not feeling ill and you just don't want to go into school, because that is a really bad idea. So the second one is choose your friends wisely. I would definitely say to not just make some friends who have nothing in common. You've got to be yourself when you're making friends. Make friends with people who are like you, and don't change yourself to be with friends who aren't like you. So just choose your friends wisely. Then spend this summer holiday planning. Yeah, that would help. Making sure you have all the uniform, correct uniform, making sure you know what lessons you have, maybe get some equipment, always have spare equipment, so that's a good tip. Just make sure your transport is ready, just make sure you're ready. That's the best top tip. Yeah, so make sure you have transport, uniform, equipment ready. Keep a homework diary, because they should give you a planner, but I'm not sure if they will at your school. But if you have a homework diary, it's so much easier. Just make sure you always write in there. Because sometimes you're like, oh, I swear, I'm sure I got homework, but I can't remember what lesson it was. I can't remember what I had to do. And you're not going to remember it. If you write it down, you probably will remember it, and you won't need to check the diary. But if you forget, at least it's there. And you don't want to not hand your homework in, it's not good. You will not be happy. The teacher will not be happy, especially. Now, this is what we all hate to do, but go to bed early, because it's just so tiring getting up. And if you go to bed earlier, you'll find school so much easier, because I always hear everyone saying, I'm so tired. And then the teacher goes, oh, what time did you go to bed? And then they're like, 10 o'clock or later than that. And when you're at secondary school, I think it's just, you need your sleep, because it's so tiring. School is tiring. Trying to remember everything when you're tired is so hard. So definitely try and go to bed earlier than normal. Have good relationships with your teachers. Now that means you need to be nice, be good in class, always do your homework, always put 100% into your work. It's just going to make life so much easier. And if teachers like you, you're going to like them. If teachers don't like you, you just don't like them, and you will hate lessons. You won't want to do your work, and it's just the way you don't want to go. You want to be the best you can, and you want teachers to like you. So then it's get a watch, because if you don't have a watch, it's so hard, because you also need to be able to tell the time. If you can't tell the time, you need to learn, because in secondary school you have time, you have a timetable, you have times what you need to get to places, and you might have a bell, but you need to know. If you've got your lunch, you're like, how long do I have left? I might not have enough time to get my lunch now, or you just need to know. And especially in lessons, you're like, are we going yet? So you need a watch, because you want to know the time. I always wear my watch, because whenever I forget it or don't wear it, I really just wish I had one on. And they don't always have a working clock in the classroom, so definitely get a watch. Always keep focused in lessons. Now this is something I wasn't so good at, because I was daydreaming all the time. But if you keep focused and always put your hand up, it's just going to be so much easier, and you'll learn so much more. And when you get to year 11, you will regret if you don't listen, because when you start actually focusing in those lessons, you find out how much you can remember. And I can't remember a thing in year 7 because I didn't listen, and the lessons when I did, I remember. So you've got to make sure you're listening. Just keeping focused is so much easier. If you get a choice to do the homework, always do it. Just do it. You don't want to do it, or at least have a go at doing it, or do a couple, or just, if it's a choice, just do it, because it's just easier. It will be so much easier with your teachers. And if also another thing is, if teachers forget to ask for the homework, just give it to them, because you feel like it's a waste of time if they don't ask for it, and because the teachers will remember you. They will remember that you gave it in when she didn't ask for it, or just things like that. It makes life so much easier. And also, if there's questions and they say, oh, you just have to do 1 to 10, and there's 20 questions on the sheet, do those 20 questions, because, or 15, or just more, because that also will make the teacher like you a bit more. Go on school trips. Now, a lot of people, I actually didn't realise this, because in primary school we always would go on, everyone would go on the school trip. But when you get to secondary school, people don't really always go on the school trips, because either they think they're too scared to, because a lot of people are too scared to go on the school trips, or I don't know, they just don't want to. But always go on the school trips, because this way you can make new friends, have better connections, feel like you belong at the school a bit more, kind of just kind of feel more involved. And that also leads me on to going to after school clubs or lunchtime clubs, because that way you will make new friends, and you'll get closer relationships with teachers. They'll like you more, and teachers will have trust in you as well. And like taking part in school productions, school concerts, all sorts of things like that, just getting involved, you seem to learn more things. Like, you feel just more connected, and teachers will like you, and everyone will know you, and that's just the way you want it to be, because you don't want to be known as someone who is always messing around and not getting involved. Everyone will know you as someone nice, and you'll just start to have your life will just be so much easier. Secondary school's hard if you don't do stuff like that. Always have spare equipment, because pens are always leaking, and teachers don't always give you equipment because it's their own equipment, so they don't want it broken. Even if they trust you, they don't really like to give it out because someone will be like, why have you given her a pencil when I'm not getting a pencil? Something like that. So always bring spare equipment because you never know if you're going to lose a pencil or a rubber. You will need a lot of equipment for secondary school because you're always writing, and also have highlighters because if you have your work colourful, it sometimes helps a lot, and highlighting things is so much easier. So I'll definitely say to do that. Now we're going to move on to some do nots. So this would be, do not change the uniform to how you wish it was, or like rolling up your skirt, wearing different coloured socks or tights or something like that. Just making sure your uniform's perfect can make such a big difference to how you look. And again, teachers will probably send you home, give you detentions. Do not judge people or pick your friends on how they look, because that would just not be good. Now try and avoid being ill on the first week or missing any of the first week of secondary school, because everyone will be so much in front of you. So when you join the school a week late or a couple of days late, even a day late on your first week, everyone's so ahead of you and everyone's going to be used to it. So you're going to struggle to catch up with everyone, and everyone will just know so much more than you. And especially in secondary school, you always seem to miss something in the lesson, and it's so hard to catch up. So you want to have as less days off as you can. So yes, that is my advice. We're now going to go on to Amy, who is going to ask me some questions about secondary school, and I'm going to answer them for her. Okay, so now I am joined with Amy, and she is moving into year 7. She's got some questions that she's going to ask me, and I'm going to answer them for her.
Okay, right. So, the first question is, how do you make friends and how easy is it?
So, I would say not to hang around with people who are from your primary school. Like, obviously still keep in contact with them, but when you're in school, try and separate yourself as much, or you will be with them all the time. And obviously you can change that, but I would definitely say try and separate yourself and make new friends, and be friends with people who you think would be most like you, and don't try and be friends with someone who's not. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How hard is the work?
Depending on the school, because obviously, it's probably going to be quite hard, but it's obviously also going to be dependent on the class, because we've got sets our school, but they always change it if the class is quite lower down, or they try and do the average for the class.
What we do, we don't get sets until year 8, year 7.
Yeah. So they might do a higher, in maths maybe, a higher sheet and then a lower one, or you'll get your grade and they'll give you work on that, so it'll probably be alright.
Okay. How do you memorise your way around the school, and how easy is it?
If it's quite a big school,
Yes.
if it's a small one, I think you'll learn it in at least a day. But the part where you'll find hard is the room numbers, because it is quite hard to find room numbers.
Yeah.
So that's the part you've got to work on. I think maybe if you you can get a sibling or a friend, an older person or someone, or yourself, and write it down and kind of write.
What?
Kind of maybe just.
Because we get planners, and then you write your lesson in the box, and then I can write my number, and I can write the number in it.
Maybe if you could kind of write down. Maybe you can draw out with the school or the parts you know if you can.
Yeah.
Or just kind of put the room numbers and Yeah, I think that's the only
Okay.
way. Memorise where everything is.
How do you know all the teachers' names?
I think it actually comes to you quite well. I would say start with trying to, maybe in your planner, write down the names of the teachers as well. And I would say memorise the most important first.
So like my form tutor.
Yeah, form tutors and head teachers, people like
I
that.
know the head teacher.
Yeah.
And the maths teacher.
I think it'll be quite easy. I think the teachers' names are quite easy because it's just, if you learn the ones what you need to learn, it should be easy.
What's it like getting the bus on your first day?
So I got the bus on my first day, and obviously I had a lot of people from my primary school, so I was quite alright.
Yeah, I don't think Sophie's going to get a lift. I think Sophie's going to get a lift on the bus, so I'm probably going to get two.
I think you want to be independent, but you've also got to see if there's anyone else on the bus who's also going to the same school, and kind of just make sure you stay with them if you trust them enough. If you don't really trust them, I wouldn't. But if you trust them, I'll try and stay with them or someone who you might know. Yeah. And just remember to press the stop button.
Okay.
That's something we did not know about. And also, it should be alright, like, just talking to the bus driver after, just think about it, after 2 weeks or something, you'll be bored of the bus already. So, you might be nervous the first time, but you'll be so bored of it in the future. You're like, oh.
Okay. Do you ever get scared to answer questions in the lessons?
So, like, if they ask,
Yeah, if they ask a
like,
question.
put your hand up.
Yeah. Are you ever afraid to answer them?
I think it depends on the class. Because if it's quite a dumb class, like my math class, it's, you have more confidence because you just feel a bit more, it's a bit easier.
I think with classes you like, it's like easier.
If you feel confident with the answer, I'll definitely say it. If you don't, maybe, I don't know. It doesn't really matter if you get something wrong, because they always say like it's close, or they hint you to get the answer eventually. But if you don't really, I mean, I can't really say anything because I don't put my hand up at all really. Because so I just don't really put my hand up. But I would definitely say to, because it makes you more involved in the class.
Yeah. I think it like makes the teachers think that you're a lot better at work.
Yeah, it would definitely improve it. I would definitely say that.
Mm-hmm. How much homework do you get a day?
Depending on the school, but I think most schools would like you to at least have one piece a day, because my teachers always say, have you got a lot of homework today? And if we say we haven't got any, they'll give us homework. If you say, yeah, we've already got some, they will say no. But yeah, it depends on the school today. And especially in year 7, I think they want you to, at the start, they will definitely put a lot of homework, but towards the middle, they forget about homework. So you'll probably get quite a lot at the start.
Okay.
Especially with new teachers, that's what happens.
How different is secondary school from primary?
I mean, the only difference is that you're in different classrooms for every lesson, and different teachers, obviously. What makes it a bit more fun, because you're bored of the same classroom all the time.
I don't. Because it's easy to know my way around.
But I think it's just a bit more grown up. There's more facilities. There's more facilities and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. How long are the lessons usually?
I think in most schools they're around an hour. Mine used to be 100 minutes, but now they're 75 minutes. But I think the average is probably like an hour.
Do you ever get free period?
No. Okay. I don't know if there are any schools that do that, but I don't think there would be, because I think it would just disrupt other lessons. I think it's different. You can't really have much fun in secondary school unless if it's an organised event.
Yeah.
You've got to be doing work. So, yeah.
Do you ever get reading lessons where you just read for the whole?
Usually it'd be in English. Sometimes if you have different lessons, maybe like an ethics lesson or there might be other lessons what you would, but I think in year 7 mostly it's just like once a week in English.
Okay. Do you ever forget your books for a lesson? Like you have to Well, like his paper or something.
They're usually alright with that. I've forgotten my book once, but we don't really take our books home, so that's why I've kind of forgotten about it. Sometimes we do if we have homework or revision, but one time I did forget it and it was fine because I had a supply teacher luckily. But some teachers are annoyed with it, but usually on the first time you forget your book, they'll just say, oh, that's annoying, and then give you paper. If you forget it a second time, then they'll be like, if you get it another time, you'll get detention.
Because at my school, my new school, they say have an A4 lined book, like notebook to write in, just in case you forget your books, and then you can like stick it in. But it's got to be one of those that you just flip down the middle, not down the middle, by the edge of the middle.
That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, that was my last question.
Well, thank you guys for watching. I hope everyone has a good time at their new school, and just make sure that you enjoy it, because school is not fun. Just try and enjoy it. It's a lot of hard work. What is that?
Stretching.
Oh, that's cool. Anyway, guys, bye.
Bye.